Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Okay, I am filming the vlog in the bedroom today to be near Boo Radley, who is standing right over there behind me. We just went outside. He walked around for about 20 minutes. And then I came up here and he was laying next to his dad's pillow. Got the purple blanket up here. We've got night lights now plugged in. We've got a little bed around in the corner in case he wants to sleep on the floor. He looked like he was going to get in this purple bed just a second ago. I think that this will be probably a rather short vlog today, and I just kind of want to fill you guys in on what's going on. And the honest to God's truth is that I really don't know what's going on. But I do want to say, bless you, Boo Radley. Bless you. I do want to say, hi, honey. Yeah. Oh, little guy's looking at my hand. Yeah. You gonna get in your purple bed? You're not sure? I posted what was happening last night on Instagram, and I woke up today. Every day that I wake up to like between 50 and 100 DMs about people send me receipts about stuff that's going on. You know, people send me pictures of, you know, squirrels and rescue dogs that I love, and people send me funny memes, and people send me things that are going on with their own life. And I woke up today and did my prayers and meditations and stuff, and was making sure that Boo Radley was okay, and my cousin was coming to pick me up. And so I was sitting outside, and I just like started going through the Instagram DMs, and there were literally hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of DMs from people. I had said, if you guys believe in prayer or positivity, send some prayer and positivity to Lil Boo Radley, because last night was a rough night. And so many people sent me messages and sent Alex messages, and I just want to say I'm so incredibly grateful for it. It literally brought me to tears before Caroline got here today. I just was like, I've already been like an emotional wreck, and I just... You gonna go in your little purple bed, honey? You okay? In your little purple bed? I don't really know what's going on. We're gonna find out more tomorrow. We have a vet appointment tomorrow. So let me kind of go back and explain some of the things that have happened. Because a lot of people were like sending me DMs, and they're like, well, what's going on? What happened? Blah, 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 whatever. So I'm going to tell you this story. He's got a lot of anxiety, so he sits in one place for like 2 minutes, and then he gets up, and now he's like laying next to the bed, or next to his little purple bed, and then he'll get up there, and he just can't get comfortable. The little guy is just not comfortable at all. So this vlog probably today will be mostly about Boo Radley. And yesterday I said something in my vlog about sharing it, and I knew that there were some people that probably were like, okay, you're sharing this every day. And I got so much support in the comment section yesterday from people being like, no, this is part of your life. Please share this. We care about Boo Radley too. We love Boo Radley too. And I just want to say, it meant so much to me. I really, really appreciate it. You know, I wasn't filming at the time that Tucker passed away, so I didn't really get to talk about that a lot. And PP being sick, I shared so much about that, like the early stages, but towards the end it just kind of happened so quickly. And so I didn't really talk a lot about that at the end. And I don't know what's going on with Boo Radley, and I'm praying to God that this is not the end. I'm praying to God that we're not at the end. I will tell you that there is about 50% of me that feels like we are, and there's 50% of me that is filled with hope. And that's just the truth. So what happened was, you know, like a week ago, he just kind of like started turning. It was literally a week ago tomorrow. Wednesday of last week, he was having the zoomies. I think it was Wednesday of last week. He had the zoomies. He was great and whatever. And then it was his birthday on Thursday. And we noticed that he was just like, was acting really lethargic. And he, you know, the pacing he was doing, but he did that more the other night. We really think that the pacing was related to the Benadryl. So we ended up taking him to the vet last night, and one of the things that the vet said last night was that it was probably the Benadryl that caused him to, like, he had an adverse reaction to it. I have an adverse reaction, I said this in my video yesterday, to antihistamines, which is why I don't take them. Like, they make me wired, where they make other people sleep. So we're thinking that that's what the pacing was about the other night, was the Benadryl. So we're no longer giving him the Benadryl. But he's still pretty anxious. He just seems like he's uncomfortable. I wouldn't necessarily say in pain, but this is kind of what it looks like with dogs sometimes. We've noticed this with our other 2 dogs. They can't communicate to us, so obviously, you know, it is what it is. So last Thursday, we started noticing that he was acting a lot different, that he was really lethargic. It's gone on for, you know, whatever. So it wasn't really bad, though, over this weekend. Like, so with Boo Radley, there's been several situations where something would happen, and then we would immediately take him to the vet, and the vet would say, everything's fine. And then 2 days later, he would be back to his old self. I've talked about that quite a bit on here, where, you know, like, he would, like, you know, just maybe jump too hard off of something or whatever. And then 2 days later, it just took him like 2 or 3 days to heal, and he was much better. So really, we thought that's what it was this weekend. We thought, well, maybe it's this. And then I started looking into the pacing, and that's what brought me to the dog dementia and things like that. I'm just looking for answers anywhere. This is just the truth, right? So Alex and I had talked like on Saturday about taking him to the emergency vet, but he didn't seem that bad then. And so we were both like, well, maybe he's just healing from something. His face seemed like it was kind of sore, so we thought maybe he sneezed and hit his head or something like that, and that, you know, maybe by Monday he'd be better. So we both agreed that like on Monday I would call the vet and we would get him in as soon as possible. Well, we really wanted our vet to see him because our vet has known Boo Radley forever, you know? And so, I mean, she can look at him and be like, yeah, this is not Boo Radley. Like, this, he's acting different, and this is what I think it is, and whatever. So when I called on Monday, I don't even really remember, to be honest with you, the conversation at this point, but I was texting Caroline to see if she was willing to take us on Wednesday, which she 100% was. And so they couldn't get us in on Monday at all. Tuesday and Wednesday, our vet had surgery. So at that point, I was like, well, we'll see anybody if you can get us in to see anybody. Well, I don't know about your vet, but our vet, it's really difficult to get in there unless it's absolutely an emergency. And they're like, is it an emergency? And we're like, well, we really don't know. And they're like, well, what do you mean? And I'm like telling them, you know, the symptoms. And by then I've been looking at like dog dementia and stuff like that. And they're like, well, dog dementia is something that like we can treat and we can see him later in the week, but it's not necessarily something that, you know, is like, it's immediate. Like it's not something that you need to bring him in tomorrow. And they didn't seem super worried about the symptoms that I was saying. And I was like, well, maybe he'll turn around. And they're like, yeah, like, you know, this has been kind of a history with Boo and things like that. So I was like, okay, so we booked the appointment. But then he just kind of seemed to start declining throughout the week. And the night of the Benadryl, which was 2 nights ago, was really, really bad. And then yesterday, he literally slept all day. I mean, just slept all day. And towards the end of the day, he got up and he was kind of a little active. He was excited, you know, when Alex came home and stuff like that. But, like, he still was really, really tired all day yesterday, all last night. Didn't really want to go outside a lot. When he was going outside, he was walking very slowly. There was, like, one time I took him outside that he was, like, kind of a little bit normally himself. He didn't really want to, like, my neighbor came over and talked to him, and he kind of, like, looked at her, but, like, not like how he usually is. It's, like, a really dulled down version of who he is. And so that was yesterday. So last night, I got done filming the vlog, and I got everything up, and we were watching the debate. And so at the end of the debate, Boo Radley just, like, slept here in his bed the whole time. He hasn't been wanting to get in his bed, but last night he did. So we were kind of like, well, maybe this is, like, he's changing, you know, a little bit. And we had tested out the night lights and stuff to see if he could see on the floor. And so we have the blue night lights. We have it plugged in, like, right over there. And it's like this little round blue light. And it's like, it doesn't bother us to sleep, but he can totally see around the floor now if he wants to walk around there. And so that was something that I had read online about dog dementia, like, to make sure that they can, like, see and whatever if they're pacing at night. Which is interesting because when we went to the vet last night, that was one of the things that she said. She said, do you guys have night lights? Like, make sure you have night lights so he can see when he's walking on the floor. I was like, that's so crazy you said that, because I was reading stuff online and they said to get night lights, and they literally just came. And so, yeah, we have them already because we tried them out. So we were sitting here, we were watching the debate. And then after the debate, it was like towards the end of it, I went downstairs. I think at that point was when my vlog was done. So I was like posting my vlog. I was like looking at stuff online. And Alex texted me. And he was like, because I had what do you call them? I plug them into the computer, my headphones on. And I was listening to the Taylor Swift Eras tour, like her live tour. And so he texted me and he said, can you turn the, because I had the overhead lights on down there. And he said, can you turn the overhead lights on so I can go to bed? And I was like, yeah. So I turned the lights off and I was sitting there. I was just kind of like looking at stuff. And like 5 minutes later, the lights came on back up here. So I took my headphones off and I said, are you okay? I said, why'd you turn the lights back on? Alex sometimes turns the lights back on and he'll like, you know, go in the bathroom. He'll be like, forgot he brushed his teeth or, you know, whatever, put out clothes for tomorrow. He's starting to move on the bed. Like he's up. So last night, he pretty much slept the entire night. So this is all day and now all night that he slept. And I mean, was sleeping like his eyes were heavy. Like we would like wake him up to take him outside and his head would like hang over. I mean, he was asleep. And we would take him outside and he would walk around. He'd wake up, but he was kind of like slow, like real slow and stuff like that. So he slept the majority of the day yesterday. And I don't know if that's because of the pacing the night before. I don't know if it was an after effect from the Benadryl. I have no idea, but he just slept like the majority of all day yesterday. So Alex said he's starting to move around. So Alex had brought him some treats. So one of the medications that we give him, the gabapentin, is like they transform it into like a liquid form. And so we give it to him through his mouth, like in a liquid form. And Alex had given him that. But the other medicine, the carfutin, is like a pill. And so it has to be like broken into like a half. And then we put it in like, we pick off a little bit of this pill pocket thing. And then he usually eats it, but he didn't want to eat it. And he's been eating pretty good. Yesterday, he didn't really want to eat anything at all yesterday. He ate a little bit, but not really that much. And so Alex had the pills up here, or had the treats up here with the one with the pill in it and the rest of it just like the pickings off the treats, and he didn't want to eat it. So when I came upstairs, Alex was sitting on the floor down there, and Boo Radley, and he was feeding Boo Radley these little treats. And I walk upstairs. This is literally like 2 minutes after the lights went on. And I come upstairs, and Alex is bawling. And I said, babe, what is going on? And he goes, I just put him down on the floor, and he's having a really hard time with his back legs. Like, he can't stand up. And I look, and he's like, you can tell he's trying to, like, pick himself up from his back legs. And he couldn't really pick himself up from the back legs. Okay, so historically why this is so hard for us is that's exactly what happened with Tucker. Tucker had a tumor behind his spleen. We did not know that at that time. It was like very aggressive. When we went to the vet, they said it was extremely aggressive. And so he was really lethargic for 2 or 3 days. And then when I was at my meeting, was like the first meeting that I went back, Alex had texted me like a million times. I came home and like Tucker couldn't stand up. Like he couldn't use any of his like legs. He couldn't stand up at all. And he just had like this kind of like wild look in his eyes. Like he was just like looking off. And so we took him to the emergency vet that night. And that was when they did like the x-ray on him and all that kind of stuff. And they said that he had this tumor behind his spleen and that he was just like filled with blood and all this kind of stuff. It was horrible. And so for both of us, the fact that Boo couldn't use his back limbs, we're like panic mode at that point, right? And Alex is like, do you think that we should take him to the emergency vet? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, okay, let's get dressed. And so I got dressed and I took Boo Radley outside. Well, when I took him outside, I don't know if it was like he couldn't use his limbs because he had been in bed all day long, but like when I took him outside, he started walking around. Now, he wasn't walking around fast. He was walking around very, very slow. But he walked around. And I'll be honest with you, at that point, from what I saw at the end of this bed, I mean, his eyes were kind of like glazed over and he was just having a hard time standing up. I did not know what was going to happen last night. I really thought we were going to come home without a dog, honestly. And so I just was walking around outside last night. Because I really thought that like we were going to have to make some hard decisions last night. And so I was walking around with him and I said, you know, like, you've always loved this yard so much, Boo Radley, and you love Mrs. and you know, you make her so happy every day seeing her. And I just was like so upset. I was so upset. And I came inside and Alex is crying. And then Boo Radley goes in the kitchen and like Alex got him a treat and he ate his treat really quick. And then Alex is like sitting on the floor and he's like feeding him like by his hand and he's eating. He's like eating some dinner. Not like he had been the nights before, but he's like eating dinner. Today he's not bothered with the food at all. He just ate some treats. I just took him outside and he ate some treats, but he just kind of walks by his food. Now, he's done that. Like, this is the thing. He's done that his entire life. Like, he eats on his own schedule. He one day will be like, I don't like that food anymore. The next day, he's on different food. So it's like, it's hard to be like, okay, this is because he's sick, or this is because he's in pain, or this is just Boo Radley. We don't know, right? And so when he was eating, he was like kind of like running around a little bit, like fast pacing, like running around. Then he'd come in and Alex would feed him a little bit, and then like he would walk in the other room and then he'd come back around. He seemed pretty normal again. I wouldn't say he seemed like he was a week ago, but he seemed better than he did 2 days ago. So Alex was like, do you still think that we should take him to the emergency vet? And I said, because we'd already called our vet, and they like talked to the on-call person, and they're like, something had happened. Anyway, it doesn't matter. They couldn't see Boo Radley at that time. So they were like, it's really bad, you need to take him to the emergency vet. And so we were like, Alex was like, do you think we should still take him? Like, he seems back to normal. And I said, yeah, because I want him checked out, okay? Like, I want to make sure that he's okay rather than, like, I'd rather come home and know that he's okay instead of having to wait until the vet appointment. And he goes, I totally agree. We'll see if we can get him in tomorrow to the vet and things like that. Well, we knew that our vet had surgery today. So we were just like, any vet at our vet place that could see him, that's totally fine. We just wanted somebody that had like the records and knew him and things like that. But we take him in all the time. He's had like regular blood work just like 3 months ago. So anyway, so we're going to the emergency vet last night, and Alex is bawling, I'm bawling, and Boo Radley's just like in my lap, and he's just like looking around, and he's just like, you know, seems like himself, you know? Like a dulled down version. But he seems alert, he seems happy, and all this kind of stuff, and Alex said something about we're going to have to make some difficult choices, and I said, I don't want to make those difficult decisions until we see our vet. Like, I want to see our vet first. Like, I want to see the vet that has known Boo Radley his entire life. And he's like, yeah, I 100% agree. So we went to the emergency vet. They were fantastic. So they were only taking critical situations because they had been like so overwhelmed like the last 2 days. There was only like 2 other people in there, but they said that they've just been like swamped the last couple days. So they were only taking critical cases. So the vet technician came out, or vet assistant or whatever, and she was so nice, and she came out and she talked to me, and she said, can you kind of explain what's going on? We're only taking critical cases right now. We're only seeing critical cases. We're taking the dogs back. And I said, I'll be honest with you. I said, in the last hour, we've had conversations about making difficult decisions. I wouldn't be here right now if this wasn't a critical situation. She goes, I totally understand. So I told her everything from the pacing to the Benadryl to the being really lethargic to his face being in pain to him just seeming off. Like, he's just not himself. And it literally happened overnight. You know, like Tanya was like, maybe he had a stroke in his sleep or something like that. I don't know, you know, like I said this, I think yesterday, or was telling them this or something, but like, when you look at the symptoms, there's like, Boo has like 1 or 2 of the symptoms out of a dog that has had a stroke. You know, when you look at the dog dementia, it's like, he has like 2 of the symptoms. It's like, so I don't know, like, maybe there's something wrong that we're not seeing. I don't know. Maybe there's something going on that internally with him that we don't know, that happened literally like with Tucker overnight. And that's my fear. So we're sitting there, and so she took all these notes, very, very nice, and she was like, okay, well, let's take him back, and she's like, I'm going to do, you know, we're going to do vitals on him, check him out, things like that, and the vet's going to see him, but we won't bring him back for a full examination unless we really think that we're going to need to keep him overnight. And I said, okay. So he took him back, and she was back there for about a half an hour, and she brought him out, and she's like, I brought him back in a little cozy blanket, and she brought him out, and he was like, his head was perking, and he was just like looking around, he was real excited and stuff like that, and so she gave him to Alex, and she sat down, and she's like, his vitals are perfectly fine, they're like really, really good. She said, his gums are fine. He allowed me to look in his mouth. She was like, his gums are perfect. She was like, he let me touch all over his face. There's nothing wrong with his head or his face. Like, he didn't pull away from me or anything like that. She goes, we felt around. He doesn't seem like he has any swelling or any. She's like, with a history like his litter mate, she was like, we would be really worried about that. She was like, but nothing is consistent with showing that he has like a tumor that you can see on the outside. She was like, and so what we're going to recommend is, since you already have his vet appointment, just see if you can get into the vet tomorrow. If you can't, then go see the vet on Thursday. She said, but you need to see the vet that has known this dog. She was like, because if you're telling me that, she's like, because to me, he seems completely fine. Just like a tired older dog. She's like, he just seems like a tired older dog to me. She's like, but if you're saying that he's drastically different, your vet that has seen him will know that. She's like, you can't just go see any vet at that place. Because we had said that we were like willing to get into anybody. She was like, you have to see the vet that's going to know this dog. She was like, because they won't be able to tell the difference. And I was like, okay. So she gave us a lot of instructions, and she was like, you know, they said something about the Benadryl being like, what made him anxious. They've seen that in some dogs, but not all. And so everything, like, she was like, we're just gonna, like, I said, so you don't think that you need to keep him? She was like, no, he's fine. Like, she was like, he was just sitting back there. She was like, you know, we put him, like, in, you know, this little bed in this crate and stuff like that. She took a picture of him. She showed us. She was like, he was just, like, looking around, like, what's going on? She was like, he was perfectly fine. She was like, he wasn't difficult with us at all. She was like, she was very, very nice. They were all very nice. Everybody from, like, when we checked in to everybody. And so I was like, okay. She was like, you know, we can do all the tests and stuff tonight, but they're not going to come back until when you're going to see your vet anyway. So she goes, we would just recommend that you go to your vet because your vet has a more extensive history with the dog. And she's like, you're going to get more conclusive evidence. And I said, okay. So today, when Alex was on his way, well, before Alex left, he took Boo Radley out, and Boo Radley pooped, and he noticed that there was some blood in his stool. So he, like, bagged it up, he dropped it off at the vet, and tried to get in today, but our vet is, like, in surgery until, like, 8 o'clock at night. And so there was no way for our vet to see him today. And so they're like, how is he doing today? And so, when Alex had, like, got to the vet, he, like, texted me and he said, how is he? And I woke up was up. And so, cause I was getting ready to go with Caroline cause she came early today. And so I, like, woke him up and he just was kind of, like, real perky and stuff like that. And so he seems fine today. He seems like, you know, he's still half asleep and whatever. So when, so Alex is like, okay, so we'll still go on Thursday. And I said, okay. So when I got, like, stopped texting him, I took Boo Radley out. He walked around. He still does his little trot thing, but it's very slow. He just is really slow right now. He just is not his usual self. And earlier today, like, he was kind of waking up, did his little trot around the yard. He was out there for probably 15 or 20 minutes. Seemed okay. Seemed fully aware of his surroundings. Like, there's a routine that he does, which is where he goes from our mailbox to our neighbor's mailbox, across the street to the other mailbox, down the other street, then he comes back, right? The one thing I am noticing is he never did it twice. He's now doing it twice. It's like once he gets back to our yard, he doesn't, like, it's like, has he done it? He hasn't, it's kind of like he kind of looks around like, did I already do it? And so he goes down and he does it twice. Which, you know, obviously, just, like, do whatever you want to do. And so I'm just, like, standing, like, 2 feet away from him, obviously, the whole time, you know, like I always am, and he's just, like, in the grass, and he's just, like, kind of sitting there, he's like, and I'm just, like, enjoy it as much as you possibly can. Enjoy the air, enjoy the grass, smell the air. He was, like, sitting in the sun, he just seemed really happy. But this morning, he seemed better. He seemed a lot better. Like, Alex was like, how does he seem? I said, I just took him outside. He seems a lot better. I brought him inside. He ate a treat this morning. Like, I gave him another treat. He ate the other treat, ate 2 treats. He, like, nibbled a little bit out of his food. He drank a lot of water. He's been drinking a lot of water. That's one of the things that I'm kind of interested in. I told the vet last night, too. He's been drinking a lot of water. And so after that, he just, like, bounded up the stairs. And so I came up here to get ready to go with Caroline, and he was, like, on the bed, and he was laying next to Alex's pillow, and he was just, like, licking his paws, like he does every other morning. And I was like, well, he's completely fine. So, because I was really unsure whether or not I should go with Caroline or not. And then I was like, well, first of all, I really, like, wanted to get out of this house because I'm so stressed out with this right now, but I didn't want to leave him alone if he wasn't okay. And so, like, I put, like, all these pillows around there and all this kind of stuff so that, like, you know, he could jump down onto the pillows and all this kind of stuff. And then each place that Caroline and I went, like, between each place, we, like, came home and I checked on Boo Radley and stuff like that. So, and he was fine, like, each time, you know. Then, because I knew I didn't want to film a whole lot when I got home, I said to Caroline, I said, do you want to do a Q&A? I said, I can put the questions up now, and then, you know, when I get back home, I can, because I hadn't brought my camera, I said, I can go inside and get my camera, and then we can film it. She's like, yeah, that'd be fun. So, when I got home, I went inside, I checked on Boo Radley. He was asleep right here, totally fine. Like, I woke him up, and he was, like, seemed completely fine. And so, I went outside, and Caroline and I filmed the video. It's about 43 minutes long or something like that. And then I brought all my stuff in, and, like, before, like, I, like, came back inside, well, I came back inside, I, like, put the camera and stuff inside, and, like, started uploading that video, and then also been uploading this review video that Caroline and I had done when we were at Target, and I came up here and I checked on him, and, like, as soon as I walked in the room, he, like, peeked up his head, and he just, like, looked like he does, like, any other day, and I was like, okay, it's fine. And so I went downstairs and I filmed this haul. I brought everything in. I'm blood pulling the videos. And while I was doing that, I was like, I'm going to take Boo Radley out. So I came up here to take him outside. He didn't seem like he wanted to get up, but he did. And so I took him outside. And when I just took him outside, it's really slow. Like, he's really, 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 really slow. He did like 2 laps around there. My neighbor across the street is super worried about. It's actually funny because I saw her at, when we were at Trader Joe's, she was there. And the first thing she said, she was like, how's Boo doing? She was like, and I was like, he seems fine, you know? But then tonight when I was out there, he just did not seem fine. He just doesn't seem fine. He kind of seems a little bit, and I hate using this example because I've heard other people use this example when their dogs are dying. He kind of seems like a toy that's slowly winding down, is what it seems like to me. But then I tried to pick him up on the walk because he just kind of stopped on the walkway and just kind of looked at me. And so I thought, well, maybe he can't like jump up here or whatever. And I like went to go pick him up and he ran past me, jumped up. And then like I opened the door and he jumped inside and he like ran into the kitchen and I gave him a treat. So it's very much like 5 minutes, it's one way, 10 minutes the other way. Now the vet last night said the pacing that's been going on for a while, she was like, we see that in a lot of dogs that have sundowners, that's the dog dementia. She's like, if he's at the beginning stages of that, it could be that 10 minutes he seems super lethargic, or 2 hours, and then 2 hours he seems very active. She said, we see that a lot in early stages of dog dementia. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. So I don't really know. All I know is that we have this vet appointment tomorrow. We're getting blood work done. We're getting a whole workup done on Boo. And I'll be honest with you, like I said, there's 50% of me that has a lot of hope, and there's 50% of me that feels like we're nearing the end. My husband last night, like, when we came home, we just like laid in bed, and we came home and I was just like wired, you know. We got home at like, I don't even know, it was like late at night. Alex had to be at work so early this morning. And I said, babe, can you go in late or take off? Because he was so tired. And he was like, no, he's like, I've got all these meetings I've got to go to. And he's like, I'll just go and it'll be whatever. He was like, in case we have to like, you know, do something later in the week or whatever. And so we were both laying here and Boo Radley was in his bed and he was just kind of like, he kept on putting his head down like he would like try to go to sleep. And then, you know, we're both like laying there. Alex has his head on one side, my head on the other side. We're both like looking at Boo Radley and we're both crying. And then Boo Radley just like pop his head up and like look at both of us. And, you know, I said to Boo, I said, I'm not ready for it to be over yet, little guy. Like, I'm just not, like, I'm not ready for it to be over yet. I know he's 15. I know he's an older dog, but I also know so many people left me comments yesterday that were so helpful about their dogs living to be like 18, 19, 20 plus, and that they had a lot of medical issues. I mean, if he has dog dementia and that's it, then we'll just arrange our house and our schedule, and I'll change my schedule to, you know, make the dog as comfortable as possible and do whatever. Like, that's not a reason for me to put a dog down. It's just not. You know, we'll make him as comfortable as he possibly can, as long as he's enjoying life. Like, as long as he's happy and he's enjoying life, like, that's what's important to me. If he's in pain and there's something going on, that's a completely different story, and I don't know what that could possibly be. I was pretty hopeful, I would say, until like last night, going to the vet and stuff. I don't know. I just had this, like, feeling inside of me. I just was like, they're not going to tell us anything bad. It's weird because I kind of have gut feelings about things. And, like, with Tucker, I just knew. Like, I was like, when we went, I just was like, this is it. Like, I just knew. But last night, like, I felt like they're going to tell us that it's fine. Like, everything's fine. I don't know that I have that feeling about the vet appointment tomorrow. Standing in the driveway when he was walking around the grass, he's really having a hard time standing and walking. Like, he walks, but then he kind of, like, stumbles a little bit to the side. He doesn't fall over or anything, but you can just tell he's not as steady on his feet. He's not as balanced. He just doesn't. You sleeping, buddy? See, like he's just sleeping right now. You okay? The camera stopped. I mean, he's like asleep right now. I don't know, you know, like Alex could come home and he could have gotten his rest all day long and he could completely turn around tonight. I don't know, but like this is not like him. Like when I come home from going out and doing things, like I'll say, I'll yell from downstairs, Burelli, let's go outside, and he'll like come down the stairs. You know, when I'm vlogging, he's like walks to the top of the stairs and looks down at me. I mean, he is sleeping all the time. I'm very thankful to Caroline because she kind of got my mind off things today a little bit, which was really, really helpful. Like having gone through this, you know, before, I feel like even sitting here filming, I'm like, is this the last video that I'm going to film with Boo Radley? Like, is this the last time that I'm ever going to film with him, like, being next to me in bed? You know, like, I don't want my dog to suffer and be in pain, but I'm also not ready for it to be over yet. I'm just not, you know? I just hope we go tomorrow and there was like some explanation to all of it, you know, that she's like, well, this is what happened or this is what happened. I just hope that there's something, but like, as encouraged as I was that like his vitals are completely fine and they're great and his gums look great and he looks healthy, like, this is not him. Like, this is not normal. Something has happened. And it literally happened from Wednesday to Thursday night. Something happened that night. Because this is not him. And it doesn't take him a week to heal from something. It just doesn't. This is not historically how he's been. Even in the last couple years as an elderly dog, as a senior dog. It hasn't taken him a week to heal from something. Like, this is weird. Like, this is weird. And I don't like it. And I'm really upset. And I don't know. But we'll know more tomorrow. I will tell you this, that my plan is that we'll go tomorrow and she'll come up with a plan and she'll say, this is what we're going to do going forward. And this is my plan right now, you know. There's a God and I'm not it. That's all I know. But this is my plan, is that she'll say, this is what's going on. And we're going to do this blood work and he'll tell us more about it. And then we're going to, you know, do whatever we can and see if he like improves in the next couple weeks, and let's do this and let's adjust that and whatever. If that's not the way that the plan goes, I probably will not vlog for a couple days. I probably won't film any videos for a couple days. I just can't imagine a world where he doesn't exist right now. Like, he's been such a constant in my life through, like, everything, you know. And I hope that we go tomorrow and she tells us something hopeful and that he ends up, I don't know, that, you know, it's fixable and that. I just feel like every dog that we've had at a time limit, it's like, PP had, you know, heart disease, and then the medicine caused the kidney problems, and then, you know, with Tucker had heart disease, and then he died of this tumor on his spleen. And when last night when she said to me, she said because of his family history with his littermate, like, we want to watch those things, but she's like, there's nothing that's suggesting that that's what's going on, you know, with him right now. She's like, there's nothing suggesting that this is what it is. He's not acting like how Tucker acted. I mean, Tucker was lethargic, and tired, but not like this. Like, Tucker was, like, out of it. Like, Boo just seems like a dulled down version of himself. And there are moments where, throughout the day, where he seems very much like himself, you know? Like when he was standing in the kitchen, I was giving him a treat a half an hour ago. But then when he was walking, in the yard, when he was walking in the yard, I just was like, this dog is completely different. I don't know. I just want to let you guys know what was going on. you know, if things go well with the vet appointment tomorrow and we come home with some hope, then I, of course, will vlog and I will fill you guys in. You know, Caroline got my mind away from things today. Went to the post office. I didn't have any packages. And went to Costco. Then came back here and checked on him. And then we went to Trader Joe's and Target. And then came back here and then went to Sullivan's. And then came back here into the video. And what one place else? Where else did we go? Where else did we go? But I was really thankful because I just, like, I needed to, like, laugh today. I needed to, like, it was interesting because, like, when we did this video, Caroline and I were talking about, like, our dads. And I'm just, like, really emotionally just set off right now, you know? And I was talking about our dads and the last conversation that our dads had. And my dad shared that story at my Uncle Dave's funeral and in the eulogy that my dad gave about when my uncle looked at him and he said, you know, like, this is the last time that we're going to see each other, isn't it? And my dad said, yeah, I think so. Or my uncle said, we're never going to see each other again, are we? And my dad said, no, I don't think so. And I think it's those hard realities, you know, that like I said to Alex on the way home last night, I said, this is hopeful, but I also know he's not going to live to be 30. Like, at some point, this is going to be our reality. Like, whether it's Thursday morning or whether it's 2 years from now, at some point, it's going to be our reality. Anybody that gets a pet knows that. It's why my husband doesn't want to get any more pets. You know, and I think it's not just that. It's just, like, the end of this era of, like, these 3 dogs that we had together. And, like, you know, Alex and I have really, like, bonded over just having Boo Radley together, you know, and stuff. And so, I don't know, like, he's just been my little partner, like, all day long. I'm here alone, and it's just, like, he and I, you know, and... But that's the hard reality, right? Like, that's the hard reality that the day's gonna come where we're not gonna ever see somebody again. Like, that's just the truth, you know? Whether it's a pet or our spouse or whoever, like... It's those hard realities, and I live in reality, you know, and I like to escape to books and TV shows and movies, and that's why I like to, you know, because sometimes reality just, it's too much. It sucks too much, you know. And, like, I know I'll be okay, whatever happens, like, eventually. I'm just very scared right now, and I'm very sad. And I think even if we go tomorrow, like, it's just, like, a reminder to me that it's, like... And we've always been on borrowed time ever since the day that we got them, you know? But it's, like, okay, you know? So, that's where we're at. Hard realities. And that's where we're at with Boo Radley right now. And I just wanted to share those things with you guys. And, like I said, if that appointment goes well tomorrow, then I will give you guys an update. I'm kind of talking in vagaries right now, but I think that you guys can figure it out. If the doctor's appointment does not go well tomorrow, I probably will be taking a few days off from filming anything. And then I really hope that that's not where we're at, because I'm just really not ready for it at all. Like, we were in the kitchen crying last night, and Alex said, I can't do this right now. He was like, I cannot go through this right now. Like, I just can't, you know? Like, things have been really, really good for us recently. It's just, like, I just honestly, like, I thought, like, coming up to Boo's 15th birthday, I thought, he's going to live to be 19 or 20 years old. Like, he's doing great. He's got the zoomies. He's running around. And it's like, one night, here we are. Like, what is going on? You know? It's just, like, I'm not prepared for this. I wasn't ready for it. And maybe you never are. Maybe you never are, you know? Anyway, thank you guys for listening to me. I appreciate it. It really helped just to kind of get this out, and I wanted to let you guys know where you're at. It felt very cathartic for me to share this today. I have such an amazing support system around me of people that have just been like, you know, like Tanya last night, and like I got, you know, when we got back from the vet, I posted something and Nikki like texted me immediately. Mel, this, you know, it's just like everybody, all my friends and family have been like texting Alex and I, and Justin Fufu texts us like immediately. It's just like so many of you guys, I mean, like hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of DMs, all the comments yesterday on yesterday's vlog, I just want to say it makes me feel very loved. It makes me feel like Alex and I and Boo Radley are very loved, and it's a really nice feeling, especially going through something like this. I don't feel like I'm going through it alone. And it's pretty magical, you know? So thank you for that. I appreciate it. And I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Wednesday. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love you.